answered the question in my visualization, how has average salary been affected by gender over the years, through my data set. I used data from the Census Bureau on the median earnings of workers 15 years old and over by work experience and sex. The dataset listed the average salaries over the years, comparing men's and women's salaries. My visualization is a line graph that depicts men's and women's salary trends over the years. My visualization clearly shows the consistent gap of average salaries between the genders. Apparently, a man will typically earn a higher salary than a woman. I used Google Sheets to create this visualization. Using the data from the Census Bureau, I filled in 3 columns of the sheet. Then I inserted a chart and defined the range of data between the first cell and the last cell that I used on Google Sheets. I added headings as the top row on my Google Sheets so it would translate to the actual visualization. I changed the background color of the graph, the font color, created a legend, and changed the actual font style to customize my line graph. I created titles for my horizontal and vertical axes, as well as for the overall graph. Finally, I added trend lines to the graph to make my conclusions clear to the viewer. Truthfully, the collection of this information has not yet had a profound impact on society. However, awareness is growing. More and more campaigns and organizations direct their attention to narrowing the gender pay gap. Some of the sources I used were completely dedicated to the topic of pay equity. Lately, women feel more empowered to take a stand and protest unequal pay. Yet, despite all of this passion to close the pay gap, the problem persists. Recently in the news, it was revealed that Michelle Williams was paid less than 1% of what her co-star, Mark Wahlberg, was paid for the reshoots of the movie All the Money in the World. Even a women's fashion company reported a 64.8% pay gap between genders. Clearly, much progress still needs to be done. As shown by my visualization, although average salary has gone up across the board, the gap between genders remains the same over the course of 55 years. Women even earn the majority of college degrees, yet the pay gap remains consistent. The wage gap is not just frustrating and unjust, but it results in large losses in lifetime earnings for women, as well as a loss of economic security. Women lose almost $500,000 in lifetime earnings due to the gender pay gap. It is time to call Congress to action and pressure companies to enforce equal pay between genders. After all, it's 2018, not 1960 anymore.